And my name is Ivan Sanders. Our presenter today will be Aubrey Broyles. Aubrey is the in-house expert for social media and digital marketing here at Nex-Tech. Aubrey has a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Graphic Design from Fort Hays State in 2016. In this presentation, hopefully you can pick up some tips that you can implement in your workplace. I do want to mention our sponsors for today's events: Axiom, Sonic Wall, Great American Financial, Cinex, Lenovo, Intel, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, and Nex-Tech Wireless. A couple of things before we get started. This presentation has been pre-recorded to help get the most information in there as possible, and also just to make it a better experience for you, along with the time constraints, making sure we're not going over on time. Just because it's been recorded does not mean you cannot ask questions. In the chat box, you can send us questions at any time. Aubrey and I are here live, so we can take those questions and answer those. At the end, we'll have a drawing for a $100 Amazon gift card from HPE. So at this point, let's get started with the presentation. I'll hand it off to Aubrey, and I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Tech Edge 2020. Again, my name is Aubrey Broyles, and I am a digital marketing specialist here at Nex-Tech. And today we're going to talk about wickedly effective tips on social media. We don't have a lot of time today, so let's just dive right in. So let's go ahead and talk about digital marketing in 2020, the facts. So we know that organic reach is dead. Organic means unpaid, or not an ad, basically. So we know that organic reach on Facebook is on average between 1% and 6% of your followers. So that means all of those fans that follow your page, on average, only 1% to 6% of them are going to see your unpaid or organic posts to your page. And also 65% of marketers say that their organic reach is still declining in 2020. This really shouldn't be surprising to anybody, but we know that organic reach is dead. Also, we know that trust is low. So in the US, only 50% of consumers say that they trust businesses, and more than 60% of Americans say that they don't trust Facebook with their information. We also know that Facebook ad costs are increasing. So there are over 7 million pages that are advertising on Facebook right now. And also 2020 is an election year, which means politicians are pouring money into ads. We also know that consumer behavior is shifting. I want to talk a little bit about what they call the streaming wars, which involves businesses like Apple TV, Disney+, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, and YouTube. Those platforms are also known as OTT video, or over-the-top video, and that is projected to grow 29% in 2020. With 5G coming to all metro areas, viewers will expect to watch 4K video everywhere. Also, the Tesla Theater is coming to Tesla vehicles for anyone that has one of those, which means you can watch OTT video anywhere. Also, we know that leisure reading in the US is at an all-time low, and that TV watching is at an all-time high. That shouldn't be a big shocker. A little bit about Disney+. Disney as a company is willing to lose billions of dollars to compete with Netflix. Also, Disney+ is the highest priority for the entire company right now. So think of all the things that Disney does, their parks and their channel and everything. Disney+ is the top priority, which should say something to some other businesses out there. And also, mobile app downloads in Q4 of 2019 for Disney+ were at 35 million. A little bit about YouTube. There are 2 billion monthly users, and 250 million hours per day of video is consumed on YouTube. 75% of all adults and 90% of young adults are on YouTube versus just 69% of adults on Facebook. So that means the older crowd is there as well as the younger crowd. Viewers are much more likely to watch to the end of a YouTube video versus a social video like on Facebook. Think about it, if people are on YouTube to watch videos, that's what they're doing. They're going to watch them from start to finish normally, versus social media where you might not be there to learn something or watch the type of video that you would see on YouTube. So they're watching the whole thing over there. And also YouTube is built for entertainment and education. So those are our facts. So let's talk a little bit about the opportunity, which is what we're going to talk about today, which is stories. So why is stories the big opportunity? And I'll tell you a few reasons why. First, you can overcome the distrust. You can show up and let people see you in a story, in a video format like that. You can satisfy the algorithm. So great video leads to longer sessions and better engagement. It embraces the algorithm instead of trying to fight against it, like a lot of us do with our other Facebook posts. There's no need to pay. It's free. But if you do pay for story ads, it will outperform anything else you've probably ever done before. And also, side note that stories are used by over 500 million people daily. That is a lot of people. This is growing. So a little bit about the science of stories. So our brains love stories. These are the chemicals that are released when we view stories on social media. First is cortisol, which helps us remember. Dopamine keeps us engaged. And oxytocin, which helps with empathy and connection. So also storytelling allows the viewer to get to know the people behind your product, which makes them more likely to buy from you. So let's talk about storytelling and getting started with it. So first, what about the platform? A lot of you are probably familiar with stories, maybe from Snapchat, but let's talk about how we can do that with Instagram and Facebook, which are platforms that you probably already have for your business and have already established a following there. Also, the next level is TikTok, which we'll talk a little bit later on. So the reason why you should start with Facebook and Instagram is because that's where your consumers are. That's where people are already following you, like I mentioned. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to do it. Just hit that record button and just do it. You can do stories as short as 15 seconds, and they disappear in 24 hours unless you save it to a collection. So when you're strategizing for stories, first you want to designate someone to be the face of your brand. Other people in your business or your customers or whatever are encouraged to join in, but having at least one person designated builds a familiarity with that person and that brand. Also, it's a good idea to add captions so that stories can be viewed and enjoyed even when the sound is off, because we all know that a lot of us are doing it that way. Also, it's a good idea to post as consistently as possible. So you should use a consistent schedule so there aren't gaps in your content or an overload on other days of the week. It's also a good idea to use a consistent look by using similar fonts, colors, images, or styles that are instantly recognizable with your brand. Also, it's a good idea to be engaging by adding tools like polls, questions, quizzes, reaction sliders, etc. So content ideas, that's where a lot of people ask me, like, what do I film? What do I record? What is the content? So it's a good idea to plan your content so you have something to post even when you're busy and you don't want to think about it. Tip number 1 is to list 30 questions that your customers often ask. So film the responses to all of those questions in one day or one afternoon or whatever, and then you can break those videos up into smaller chunks and then post them over time. So with just a couple minutes of filming, you can have content for weeks potentially. Tip number 2 is to take videos of in-the-moment content like events, but save it to share it later on. This way you aren't distracted from the moment, and it allows you to fully create a story in the best context with the highest quality captions, overlays, etc. Tip number 3, borrow content from others. Sounds like it's cheating, but it's not. When scrolling through Instagram, you can bookmark posts and use them and share them later on your stories. And I have heard that people on both sides love this. The people that posted that content, they love that it's getting shared and seen by more eyes. And it's easy for you because you don't have to come up with it on your own. If you need inspiration, here's a list of accounts that I follow. Some are local and some are not as local, but I'll be handing out my slides after this presentation so you can kind of flip back through here and get those written down. Let's talk TikTok. I know it's really hot right now and some of you think that it's just a trend and it's going to go away, but my main message here is that it is here to stay, whether you like it or not. So the TikTok app was downloaded 738 million times in 2019. 49% of users are 35 plus, so it's not just for kids. So why has TikTok been so successful? The answer is that they have a really smart algorithm that learns what kind of content you like and shows you more of it. odds are, if you ask a friend, did you see that video on TikTok? The odds are that they didn't see it. So each user's feed is very unique to them, which is because of the algorithm and is a big part of why it's so popular. Also, the average user spends 61 minutes on the app with the sound up. That is a huge, huge potential for advertisers. Right now, most marketers don't want anything to do with TikTok, so if you jump on it now before everyone else joins in, you have the edge. Again, I've listed a couple accounts here for inspiration of a couple of businesses that are using TikTok and they're doing it right. So we'll move on from TikTok, but I just want to say that it's a big deal. So we've talked about stories. Stories are so hot right now, but what else is out there? So let's talk about next level Facebook ads. First, let's talk about the strategy. As a company, it's a really good idea to define your warm audiences. These could be people like your current customer list. You can market to them in an upgrade type sense, or also people who have engaged with your Facebook page. This is people that have liked, commented, shared, sent a message, viewed a video. Those are engagers, and those are people that are warm to your brand. Also, another warm audience you can have for your business is people who clicked a CTA or call to action button or visited your website. You can think shopping cart or contact us page. Those are people that are defined as your warm audience, and you can retarget to them. Think retargeting in this sense. Also, once you've identified the audience, you can advertise to them with a special offer or promotion to get them to convert or buy from you. Typically, the warmer the audience, the more likely that they are to buy from you. Simple concept. And then once you've defined that warm audience, you can expand to a cooler audience with what they call lookalike. So all of those warm audiences that we talked about earlier on, you can take those and create lookalike. So this tells Facebook, here's what my best customers look like. So go out and find more people that look like them, who are similar to them. And we have seen great success with this for us and for all of our clients. So it's a really effective method in marketing. Also, don't forget about excluding. Example number one is don't upset your current customers with a special offer that you're trying to use to get new customers. We see this all the time. So it's a really good idea to exclude maybe current customers that aren't eligible for an offer. Example number two is maybe someone viewed your services page and added a product to their shopping cart, which is a good audience to market to. But don't forget to exclude the people that did those actions but actually did buy from you. So if I bought a pair of pants, I don't want to keep seeing an ad for that pair of pants that I did buy. That makes sense. So if you follow these next level tips, you can achieve lower ad costs, more conversions or purchases, and a better user experience as compared to the spray and pray method with simple interest targeting. Also, let's talk about the ad itself. So creating to convert. So this is my formula for great ad copy. I use it for Facebook, but you can use it for any of your ad platforms that you're advertising on. So first, we have the description text, which is the top of the ad, the longer caption. You want to start by grabbing their attention. Use emojis, ask questions, be striking. Also, you want to elicit an emotion, build trust, or exhibit credibility. And then you want to plant the offer and then call for the action, for the sale. So putting all of these together into a caption will really, really help you. Sometimes it helps to have a formula to get you started. And then the bottom next bullet here, the headline text, this is the bottom of the ad, the shorter block of text that you normally see like below the video. Here you want to repeat the call to action very clearly. State exactly what you want the viewer to do and what they can expect when they click the button. This sounds really simple, but a lot of people miss this step. When people are viewing your ad, they're not looking at it for very long, so you have to be very clear in what you want them to do and why it benefits them. Don't miss those steps. Also here on the right, I included a screenshot of words that sell anything. This is a takeaway I grabbed from a conference I attended earlier this year. So again, I'll be handing out my slides. You can take a screenshot of this later on. More next level Facebook ads. This is for the artists or the people in your business maybe creating the ads or the videos. So I often get asked, what should the creative asset or the creative part of the ad look like? Typically, I always say that video performs better than still images. This is proven over and over again. You want to keep the text overlay low, under 20%, and you can use this URL to check your image or video to make sure that there isn't too much text on it, because Facebook will kind of decline your ad. Also, typically the shorter the better. 15 seconds is the max for in-stream ads, so that's a really nice sweet spot if you can do between 15 and maybe 30 seconds. It's also a good idea to use images or videos of real people, not just pictures of your products and services. People want to see people using your products and services and how it affects them, maybe at an emotional level. It's also a good idea to use color or artistic elements to stop the thumb. That's really important, and to get the attention of the viewer. You also want to plan for sound off. Voiceover is fine, but make sure that the video can still be enjoyed if the sound is off. And of course, my point from earlier, utilize storytelling and stick to your brand voice. Alrighty, we've got one for the nerds. So this is a little bit of a next level tip for those people that maybe do more on the analytics or the web side. So this is about setting up the Facebook Pixel and Google Analytics Data Studio on your website. So this first screenshot here is an example of how we as a company used Facebook Pixel. And that is code that you can place on your website. It collects data and helps you track conversions from Facebook ads and build targeted audiences for future ads. It works by placing and triggering cookies to track users as they interact with your website and your ads. So here's a couple of examples that we used for, like, again, Nex-Tech for our Great Bend Fiber campaign that we're working on. So you can see the very, very far right column that says results. That's the number of people that clicked the ad, that actually went and viewed our landing page. But the metrics here that I circled in pink, those are really important numbers to us, because those are conversions. Those are people that actually submitted the interest form and then on the second campaign completed the sign-up form. So this is a very, very clear way to measure the return on your ad spend. How many true sales, signups, conversions, whatever it is for your business, how many of those are you truly, truly getting from your ads? This allows you to measure beyond just clicks. The next screenshot talks about Google Analytics. And that is a web analytics service that tracks and reports website traffic. Google Data Studio is a reporting solution for power users who want to go beyond the data and dashboards of Google Analytics. And the data widgets are notable for their variety and customization options. So this is very similar to what we were talking about with the first campaign, where we can really dive into the numbers to see what is happening on our site. And the advantage to Google is that it is all of your website traffic, not just people that arrived there because of a Facebook ad, like the top one. So here you can see numbers of people that, again, signed up or completed a form and took certain amounts of interest. One more slide for the nerds. So I always suggest doing split testing or A/B testing if you can. This is a really good way to learn a little bit more about how your ads can perform better. So a split test is where two elements of a marketing campaign are tested against each other to analyze which one will deliver the best results. You can change variables such as your ad creative, your audience, or placement to determine which strategy performs best and can allow you to improve your future campaigns. So this is a really, really simple ad test, again, that we did for Nex-Tech. So you've got ad A versus ad B, and you can see the results down here in the screenshot. We can see that ad A had 24 link clicks versus 15 on ad B. Again, this was a really small budget, so we were just kind of getting our feet wet with this, but the only thing we changed from ad A to ad B is the copy text at the top. So the video is the same, all the text at the bottom is the same. We're just testing which text would get people to click more often, and we were shown that option A won. So then we can do things like that more often in the future. Alrighty, we're getting towards the end here, so I have a little gift for you. It is Instagram Stories Tech Edge stickers. So go to your Instagram or your Snapchat, and you just swipe to the left, take a photo, and then you can type in Nex-Tech into the stickers search bar, and you can find some of our Nex-Tech stickers. So you can get your feet wet with using stories. Again, this is available on Instagram and Snapchat. Just search for Nex-Tech. And you can use our stickers. This is my fiance, Dylan, the tech. This was right after his first COVID-19 haircut, so he was feeling pretty cute. Alrighty, so feel free to use my stickers and get started with stories. Alrighty, that is all I have today. Again, my name is Aubrey Broyles, and I am a digital marketing specialist here at Nex-Tech. I thank you all for attending my presentation. I hope you learned something, and with that, I will open it up for any questions. There you go. We're back.
Hey, we're back. Good to see everybody. Hey, before we get started here with some questions, I've got some questions for Aubrey as well. We're going to go ahead and do our drawing for our $100 Amazon card from HPE. And the winner is Anna L. So Anna, if you could type in your last name in the chat box, that would be fabulous. That would help us out, and we'll track you down and get that to you. So with that done, I've got 4 questions here for Aubrey, and we'll see if they pertain to anybody else out there listening. So has Nex-Tech gotten started with TikTok?
Yes, so we'll start with TikTok right away. We don't have a ton of time left. Looks like maybe about 9 minutes for questions here. So we'll start with TikTok because that seems to be a bit of the hot topic. And yes, I will send out my slides later on for those of you asking. But for TikTok, yes, we did get started with TikTok this year as Nex-Tech, and I recommend the same for you as well. And that maybe doesn't mean producing videos or producing the content, but I strongly encourage you all to at least create the account for your businesses. Reserve that username so that somebody else doesn't take it from you, and just have a presence there, especially if your key demographic could be the younger crowd. Just having an account there could really make a difference in the way that all works in the social world. So yes, create an account, get started. It's not that hard, but I understand that the videos themselves, that's the challenging part. And at Nex-Tech, yes, we have got our feet wet with a couple of videos. Nothing crazy. We haven't gone viral or anything, but I've used Dylan, my fiance. He's always willing to help me with my crazy social media things. And yeah, poor guy, really. And we have created a couple of fun little videos. I encourage you to go check them out. Follow us on TikTok. We try to do the first one that was a little bit more related to what we do, internet, broadband, and explaining that. And then the second video was a little bit more fun. We tackled a dance challenge, something that was a little bit more trendy. So, we're not going for, tons of sales here. We're just trying to kind of get our feet wet and kind of warm ourselves up to that platform. So let me see if we've got any questions here. Any more questions about TikTok? I know it's new and it's hot and there's a lot of questions about it.
I think we just got a couple minutes left here.
Yep.
Yep. All right, I got one more question for you. Are there any tools that you'd recommend for creating Facebook graphics and videos?
Yeah. So, my background is graphic design, actually, and I am a big fan of the Adobe suite, which for me includes Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Premiere Rush. That is a new tool from Adobe, and I love it. Adobe Premiere Rush, but those are not free. So if you do not have access to those, there are lots of free tools out there like Canva. I think it's PicMonkey, Easel are a couple of good ones, and a lot of those are actually starting to implement some simple video editing software into there as well. And if you have a Mac, like a MacBook computer, I also really like iMovie, and that's free and already on your computer if you use that as well. So. Is TikTok mostly fun videos or selling? Good question. Ideally, it should be a mix of both. And it really should probably lean a little bit more towards the fun aspect than too much selling. When people come to these platforms, they aren't there to be sold to, at least not really upfront in your face selling. So definitely do more of the fun, maybe educational type videos, and every once in a while sprinkle in some of that sales piece if you can. That's definitely best practice.
All right. I think looking at the clock here, we're at 11:55 a.m. So yep. I think at this time, we just want to thank you for attending this session. That was all we had on our agenda this morning. We hope you enjoyed Tech Edge, and thank you for spending time with us. Please be sure to fill out the event survey. You will get it in your email here shortly to help us make your experience better. And don't forget to sign up for a free phishing campaign. Watch your email for more information on that. And then, hey, have a great day. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys.